Hey y'all, let me know when you get here. Woo! It is Friday. Y'all, I don't know what I was thinking earlier. I totally lost my mind. It didn't hit me till well past our noon live that it was Friday today. So my bad. Well, let's get our resin poured up while you guys get here. Start with B and see what we have. Oop. Need my handy dandy wipes. All right. Wipes are out. Put them over here. Let me get my stick. Cool. All right, let's see what we have here. Can we do? There we go. All right. Let me wipe my lid off. Okay. Should have done this a little later. Y'all know I live in Colorado Springs. I'm gonna bring this to 11. So the sun is really shining over that mountain in the back of our house. All right, so there's our 11. Wipe this off so our lid doesn't get stuck. There we go. Today we're going to do something different. Okay. This to the side. Done with that. I'm going to mix up our resin. Give everybody a chance to get here. Y'all remember I told you when you mix your resin, be sure you're stirring your sides, your bottom, you're wiping your stick off. You want to make sure everything gets incorporated. And then we're going to talk about our projects. But I'm going to let everyone kind of filter in. This is a new time. This is not our usual time. So it may throw some people off. But I figured since I didn't go live at noon, let's try a Friday evening live and see what happens. See if y'all like that better. And y'all remember I said, mixing resin is not a timed event. I know a lot of people say, oh, I mix for 3 minutes, or I mix for 5 minutes and I'm done. Well, no, you mix until there's no streaking left in your resin that looks like little jellyfish in there. You want it completely clear. That's how you know that it's ready. And again, make sure that you're scraping your sides of your cup, scraping your stick off, because you don't want any extra part B hanging on your stick and you didn't wipe it all the way off so it gets fully incorporated. Then when you pour your resin or you use your stick in your project, you have that one little part that didn't get combined and it's going to never cure. It's going to stay soft. And y'all have seen that before happen when I did my wolf. Remember when we did the wolf? In his nose, in that little area over his eyebrow. was not combined all the way and it was still not cured when we took it out. All right, so I'm gonna set this to the side and let it sit a minute. I'm just gonna put my stick back in there, move these over. And I've got two different, I've got a ring tray and this little deep coaster that has that raised edge around it. And I wanna wipe these out with my wipe. And if you have any little bits of resin or any little bits of glitter left over that you can't get out, use tape. Just gonna take a piece of clear tape, sticky side down, and put it on your mold. And it's gonna pick up any little pieces of resin or glitter that gets left behind. So there's a pro tip for you. Pro tip, not trip. Clear tape is great for removing little bits of resin or glitter from your molds that you have a problem getting out. Now we need to decide what we're going to do with these. And I said we're going to do different inserts in this resin. And what do I mean by that? Well, we have chunky glitter that we can use. See that iridescent chunky glitter? That's beautiful. I have this beautiful paste that I can use. What else do we have hanging out? Of course, we have our Marabou Rainbow alcohol ink that adds a little sparkle that still leaves our resin clear. What else do I have hanging out over here? Where's my rocks? Aha. Here we go. I have some aquarium rocks that are also great to put. You can put it down the side so it only incorporates just the outside, the raised part of your coaster. And you can do a different color on the base or the inside of your coaster, or your ring tray. Or you can add a sticker. Let's see, what do I have here? You can put little stickers. These are like papers. You need to seal them either with a laminator, or you can use clear tape to put over so it's sealed and resin's not going to leak in and discolor your pictures. It's kind of a cute idea to go on a coaster. Let's see what other ones we have hanging out over here. Move that out of the way. Y'all look at these. Aren't these cute? Aren't these beautiful? So that's just a design. I could cut down if I wanted to. There's another design. There's a bigger one. But anything like that you can use. You can use the DTF stickers like we used to make our other trays in the past. See what? Nope, I don't have that. Oh, you can see here, I used mica powder on the mold and then poured my glitter behind it. And I used a little stencil. I don't know if I have them close by or not. But that's another option that you can use. You can put a stencil down on your silicone, take some mica. Remember, I use the makeup brushes. This is just a big one, but I have little ones hanging out too. And put on your silicone. Get those hairs off there because we don't want that in our silicone. And create these little stencil patterns. So that's another idea that you can do. That's fun. You can take, where's my little, here's my years that I had when we were doing the Independence Day. You can use those. You can use the washi tape to create designs. Here are some stickers. you can put down. So there's a lot of different things you can do. So for today, I think we're going to do, I'm not going to need this because I'm not going to do any stenciling. I think we'll do some chunky glitter, this iridescent glitter. Isn't that fun, y'all? I love it. And actually, I think I'm going to add, oh, not the gold, not the silver. Where's it hiding? There it is. I have that blue holographic glitter too. And then I have a chunky silver, a chunky gold. I don't want to use silver or gold. I think I want to use this iridescent. And the other one, I think we'll use the blue. I really like that. It's pretty. So I'm going to pour. Do I have my little... No, I don't think I do. Let's see. Oh, I have 2 little cups here. So I'm going to pour enough resin in here so I can fill just the rim of this in the rim of our coaster. One I'm going to fill with this blue, beautiful, and y'all, I'm going to show you another pro trick using our clear glue. It's back to school. It's a great time to stock up on these back to school supplies. Get your white school glue and your clear glue because they are great tricks to use for your resin. And I'm going to show you how we're going to use them. Using the clear glue, I'm going to show you how to use it so it will keep your glitter from sinking. Like this chunky glitter that I have will sink because it's heavy. So to keep it afloat, we're going to use some clear glue. All right, there's one. Our other one. All right, let's set this to the side. All right, so before I put my glitter in, I'm going to put my clear glue in. And I have about 2 ounces in these little cups. So I want to put 1 to 2 drops of clear glue. Y'all, of course this is gonna. All right, so it doesn't want to come out that way. So I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to take my stick. I'm going to dip in. Put a little in that one. A little in that one. And when I mix this resin with this clear glue, it's going to become gloppy. It's going to look like slime. Because these are the ingredients you use to make slime. Did you know that? All right, I haven't. Oh, I have. Okay. All right. Oh, I didn't open this. That's what. Let me open the top of this glitter. Pop. This is not wanting to. All right, let's take it off. I'm going to add some scoops of glitter in here. Like so. I'm going to bust this open using, you see this little tab right there that's not open. So I'm going to push it down. Really? Oh, there's a tab underneath. No wonder it won't open. Dag nabbit. All right. Y'all. Do y'all ever struggle with these things that say it's easy to open and they don't want to open? Lord have mercy. Ah, goodness gracious alive. All right, so I'm not messing with that right now. It does not want to cooperate at all. So I'm going to put that file back. And I know I had a little spoon here. Well, I thought I did. I guess I don't. All right, so I'm just going to scoop some more in there. All right, close this up. And we're going to put some of our blue glitter down in here. I'll add a little more. All right, close that lid, put it away. Have a stick here to mix this up. Now, I want you to see what happens when I start mixing that with the clear glue in. It's going to become, there it goes, like slime. And you can feel the resistance when you're stirring. You're going to start feeling that resistance. See how slimy that's getting? See it droop off there? All right. So I want to make sure that's mixed good. Get all the sides down. All right. And it's just a glob. Ugh, looks like snot. That's the best way to say it. That's what it looks like. Now we're going to do the same thing with the blue. And remember, scrape your sides because I told y'all, glitter and mica love to grab these little cups. And it's doing the same thing. See that? It's all gloopy. Like slime. It's supposed to be like that, and that's what we want. Okay? So, here's what we're going to do. Let's do our smaller one. Push this out of the way so you can see our little baby one. Going to, and I'm just going to set this up here. We're going to put our, and I love these paper clips because look, I can make a little pour spout. So I'm going to pour this around the edge. Like so. I'm gonna scrape it off. Back into the cup. I have some left over. That's fine. I'm not worried about that. And I want to push this. There we go. You see how it's all gloopy? Just like that. And I'm going to take some of this out. I'm just going to wipe it back in the cup. And we'll use this for something different. But I'm going to take what's there and I'm just going to push it back toward the side. Yo, isn't that pretty? I really love this blue glitter. And everything I'm using, I'll put in the description for you guys. So let me get some of this out. Like so. There we go. And then I'm just going to take a wipe. And I'm going to wipe along that to clean it up. And I'm just putting the wipe around my finger so I have more control over what I wipe. And some's going to come out, and I'm fine with that. Okay. So I'll clean most of that up the way I want it. And if we have a little bit going toward the center, I'm not too upset by that at all. Now I'm going to throw my wipe straight to my trash. And that part is done. I'm going to let that sit while I add this chunky glitter. And y'all see how this stays? It's not floated. You can see it on the top. It's not floated down. Now I'm going to move this little one out of the way. Move my resin, my clear resin that's left. We're going to add some marabou to this. But I'm going to pour this so it goes along the side. And I'm going to help it work itself down there. And do the same thing. I'm just going to wipe it back in the cup. Again, we have some extra. That's fine. I'll use it for something else. But I want to push this down and around into the sides. And make sure that like I can tell, I can take some of this. There we go. And it's around the side. I'm going to put that back in there. Again, I'm going to take a wipe. I'm going to wipe the center here. So we're just wiping this. So then I'm going to pour my clear, have that marabou sparkle in it. And then after this is cured, if I want to come back and add a sticker or a wrap to the front of that, I can do it. Okay? Because we're going to leave it clear. And throw this away. Then we're going to mix up our marabou alcohol ink into our clear resin. And we're going to pour, make sure I have wipes on standby. All right. Remember I told y'all, make sure you shake this, because if you don't, the white, the goody part that you want in your resin is going to stay stuck on the bottom. So make sure you shake this really well. And I want you to see this. There, it doesn't take very much at all. And what this does, you see that on the top of the resin, right? You see that? So when I mix this, it's just going to give me that sparkle in my resin. It's not going to color it white. It's just going to be a beautiful sparkle. And I can tell y'all, this is a trick that I use for my galaxy pieces, because this is just sparkle, clear sparkle. That's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back so you can see it. I'm just going to see, and you can see that sparkle coming out. Do you see that? All right. So I'm not going to fill that all the way up. So if I want to do a different color on the bottom, I can. And we're going to add this into our little coaster here. And you can really see that sparkle there. Isn't that beautiful, y'all? Gorgeous. Now I have some left over, and I'm just going to use my leftovers in a different, where is it? I can use it in this different tray here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blue. We'll pour that around here. I'm just going to dump it on this end of the tray. Y'all see that? No. I'll let you see in a minute. So I'm just going to dump that there. And then I want to take this cluster and dump it on this end of the tray. This is that chunky glitter, the iridescent chunky glitter. So it's poured on that end. And then we're going to take the rest of our clear with the marabou in it and put that in the middle. And see how that turns out. Yeah, that's going to be really cute. And then again, if I want to come back, there's enough room that I can come back and put a color backing on this tray if I want to. Let me scooch this over because I really want you to see how this looks. Move that over too. See that? We have the chunky glitter at this end, the blue glitter at this end, and the clear with the iridescent marabou in the middle. That's going to turn out so good, y'all. I really, really love how this is coming out. Now, what I do need to do is, where did I put my other? Here it is. I'm going to take my silicone tip tool, and I'm going to go around here. I saw some bubbles trying to start there. So we want to do that. I want to wipe that off because I don't want the chunky in with my blue. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. And make sure that we don't have any. I'm going to wipe that off. And all that looks good. I'm not going to mess with it. And remember what I told you guys. No fire if you're using these silicone molds. Do not use fire at all. So I'll wipe my stick off. It's ready to go again. I'm going to wipe this stick off. So it's ready to go again. Y'all, this is a huge tip. This is one reason I keep my wipes right next to my craft area, because this really saves a lot of time. Hey, babe. Glad you're here. Good to see you. We're just adding some things in resin. And what I did is I used the clear glue trick, which is simply this. If you're using even, this is super thin holographic glitter, which you really don't have to worry that much about. But I also decided to use a chunky glitter. So what I did is I poured them in these little 2-ounce cups. My gloves are in the way. I poured some resin in there, and I added 2 drops of clear glue in with my resin and my glitter. And it's going to keep my glitter evenly suspended. So my chunky glitter is not going to sink straight down because chunky glitter is really heavy. So if you don't use this trick, your glitter is going to sink straight to the bottom and you're not going to have any on the back of your piece. Or if I've had this happen before, I have written things or used the stencil like this on my silicone and use the chunky glitter. Well, the glitter covered up a lot of my wording and stuff that I had. So it was all messed up. It's a great trick. And right now, back to school is the time I stock up on all of my clear glue and my white school glue that I use to put on the backs of my coasters that I'm doing a top coat on to protect the bottom. So with it being back to school, be sure that you guys are stocking up on all those supplies. It's a great time. And some states have tax-free during this time. So you can stock up on your stuff and not pay tax on it. That's always a great thing too. So that's what we did tonight. And I apologize that I wasn't here at noon. Perfect. It's always a must-have. And when I can find it on sale, I'm stocking up on it for sure. I love it. And this time of year is the best time. So I'm just going to spritz these with isopropyl alcohol, 91% or higher. And the 91% is going to allow your alcohol to evaporate off. You want to make sure that you give it time to evaporate before you add any more resin, because if you don't, sometimes that evaporation will mess up your curing in your resin. So keep that in mind. I'm going to wipe these sticks off too. But yeah, those are great, great tricks. Another one, clear tape. That picks up all the little pieces of the glitter and resin that's left behind. Super easy. And here's a huge clue. People have been talking about a lot lately. If you have resin, say in a silicone cup that you're mixing, they're like, how can I get the little pieces and out? Well, here's a trick. If it's in a cup, get a lint roller. You put the lint roller down and you swirl it around, peel that layer of tape off, and all of your little bits and stuff are removed. Much easier than trying to use clear tape in a cup. So a lint roller, put it down in there, swirl it around. It's going to pick up all your glitter and little resin bits left behind. That's a great trick that I have used a lot. It's super helpful. I love those little tricks like that. Are y'all working on anything you have questions on? And I'll get a lot of questions in group, but I like to answer them here too. So if anybody who's watching, oh, you're from the UK. Awesome. Is this a better time for you to catch lives? Maybe I'll alternate. Maybe I'll do one Friday at noon, the next Friday in the evening, so more people can catch them. Oh, before I forget, I did want to do a giveaway. Awesome. I'll have to check that out for sure. Let's give a little gift. Here we go. Well, oh my goodness. Oh, not till tomorrow. Wow. Why did I think today was the 1st, y'all? I'm sitting here thinking we're in August already. Oh, I love those. We'll have to check out your channel. That sounds like a lot of fun. I love doing testing and answering questions. And we always love a good break. Kids are sleeping. That's a big plus. Yeah, we're already into August already. Isn't that crazy? So crazy. Time is flying. As always, especially if you have children, it really flies by quick. But if y'all don't have any questions for me, or leave me a comment and tell me what you want to see next. Is there a technique that you've been watching or noticed that you'd like to see more about? I'm planning on doing something I haven't done in a long time, and that's to show you guys how to use wallpaper with your resin. Oh, happy birthday! How fun. I hope you celebrate all week. You deserve it, especially if you're a mama. What is my favorite resin? That's a great question. I alternate between two. I really love Let's Resin and Teakspert. And I found that Teakspert is a thicker resin. It's a higher viscosity resin than the Let's Resin. So if I am doing, and I see, look at this, y'all. That little booger's trying to float right there. Let me get him out. Get out. Sneaky. So if I'm doing like a dragon scale or a puddle pour or something like that, I prefer using the Teakspert because it's thicker and you get a better result for those techniques with a thicker resin. Now, if I'm doing something that's a little deeper or that I really want to make sure that my bubbles release from, I prefer Let's Resin because it's thinner, and both of these are really good at self-releasing bubbles. Aw. I have one. I have 3 children altogether. Mine are all grown. I'm done with the whole school thing. I was a ROTC mom, a soccer mom, choir mom, all that good jazz. So I spent a lot of time making macaroni and cheese. That was always their request. They wanted that every time we had a cookout. So it's great. Oh, UV is fun, but you have to be, it's really tricky. I'm sure, as you know. And one of the things that I loved that within the last year, they released the pre-colored UV resin that we have been asking for a long time. Because before they released that pre-colored UV, and I've got some sitting right here actually, and this pre-colored means you can unscrew this top, put it in your little piece, cure it, and even if it looks solid, it's still going to cure with your UV light. So I suggest these pre-colored UV resins because it takes all the guesswork out. You don't have to worry about, is my stuff going to cure? And here's a tip for these. Instead of pouring straight from the bottle, you can put some clear UV resin in here, add a little bit of your colored UV, and mix it in. This makes that last a lot longer if you do it that way. So there's another pro tip for you guys. So yeah, the pre-colored stuff, awesome. I love it, highly recommend. And you can use it with your UV, with regular epoxy too. Take your pre-colored resin and you can use this to do your details. And I do this a lot. Let's see, what do I have? Oh, I can show you this right here. Is a good example. So these little flowers, that's got the letter in the middle. I can take my colored UV and do my detail with the alphabet letter and only do that with my colored UV. And then I can pour regular resin over that. And my highlight and my detail is done. And I don't have to worry about my color bleeding into my regular resin. So that's another great way that you can use both of these together. And I do a lot. Anything that I have on a mold, like I have some gnomes that I've done that had like a Halloween hat or a Christmas hat or something, and they had a lined shirt. So I did my colors with UV resin, and then I just simply poured white glimmer or shimmer for the rest of it. And all of my detailing was done, and it was crisp because I did all the details with the UV. So that's another way. Huge, huge tip. Oh, this is from Let's Resin. And I love Let's Resin's molds because they tell you on them exactly how much resin is needed for the mold. So there's no guesswork, no measuring, anything like that. They tell you precisely, and it stays on the mold, so you don't have to track down a spreadsheet or a notebook, anything like that. It's all right there on the mold. So I love that for that reason. And I don't mind paying extra for a mold that has that information on it for me over one that doesn't have that imprinted. To me, it's a huge lifesaver. So anyway, y'all, if you don't have any more questions or anything like that for me, I try to keep these short, but we're 40 minutes in, so it's not that short. But that's okay. I don't mind spending time with you guys and answering questions and showing you all my tips and tricks. I love sharing all that. I see some bubbles hiding out here. That's why I'm messing with this. I think everything else is good. But that's it. If y'all don't have any other... Okay, shoot. I see a question. No, it actually doesn't. I've never had an issue with that being a problem. Now, that is pouring resin over UV. I don't know about using UV on your regular resin. I don't suggest that. But if you put your UV resin directly on the mold and then pour epoxy behind that, it'll be fine. I've never had an issue with it separating or pulling apart. So that was a great question because a lot of people don't realize that. And honestly, it's the same thing with the Resincrete, the resin alternative. That is great for children, for pregnant people, people who might have a sensitivity to resin. Use that Resincrete because honestly, it's like plaster. It's a powder you add water to, mix it up, pour it. You can pour it in any of your silicone molds. It cures fine. You can even add mica, which I really don't suggest. You can do it, but if you're going to add mica into Resincrete, make sure you add the mica to the powder before you add your water. Same thing, you can use acrylic paint, which is really the best thing to use with Resincrete, but make sure that you put your acrylic paint in your water and mix that up before you combine your powder and water together. You're going to get a much better result that way. Ask me how I found out. I did a lot of testing on that to figure out which is the best way to do it, what worked good. I can definitely tell you, do not use alcohol inks with Resincrete. It is a huge waste because it just disappears. You don't see it. So, with Resincrete, you can, let me think about this. You can add resin to the Resincrete, but you cannot add Resincrete to resin that's already cured. That will separate and pop apart. So I found that out too. And I'll put all this in the description because it's a lot to remember. So Resincrete, do not go on resin. You can pour that first and then add resin over it, but you cannot pour Resincrete over resin. And I do not suggest using UV resin on cured resin either. Use your UV on your silicone, then pour regular resin over it. It's good to go. So that was a great question. I don't put anything that I make in the oven. I don't bake anything. Like that Resincrete or the plaster. It doesn't, the plaster, the Resincrete cures from water evaporation. You don't have to put it in the oven. You don't have to bake it. None of that stuff. Not like where you put it in a kiln. It doesn't have to be cooked like that. The Resincrete is a powder and water. You mix it together, pour it in your mold. Now you don't have a lot of work time. You better mix quickly, make sure everything's combined, colored, and that's another reason it's good to do your colors before you mix it because it starts setting up really fast. And with Resincrete, I suggest you wait at least 4 hours before you take it out. And I know on the packaging it says it can be unmolded and taken out in 45 minutes to an hour. But when you do that, all the water is not evaporated out. So it's very tender. So if you're doing what do you call it? A seahorse, you're going to lose a tail. If you're doing a dragon, you're going to lose scales, ears, things like that because it's way too tender. So Let that sit for 4 hours, then you're good to go. And you can use acrylic paint pens, acrylic paint to add details to all that once it's cured. But it's great stuff. I highly recommend it for people who want to find something that's safe to do with their kids. That's a great project to use. It was nice meeting you, and I'll be sure to check out your channel. I love doing that too. I hope you have sweet dreams. Y'all, she's over in the UK, so it's like 1:30 over there. But tell me, do you like this time better than noon? Leave me a comment. Let me know which you prefer, noon or is evening better for you? And we'll try to incorporate all that so everybody gets a shot at being on live. But y'all, if you don't have any more questions, that's really all I have for this one. We simply just added glitter in for some details, and I used my clear glue trick, which is 1 drop per 2 ounces of resin. You're gonna, when you start mixing it, it's gonna turn into slime. That's fine, it's supposed to. And it's gonna keep your glitters evenly suspended, where chunky glitter usually sinks because it's really heavy. So to prevent that, you put this clear glue, use that trick, and your glitter's going to stay evenly dispersed. It's a lifesaver, I tell you. But that's what we did today. This is just the blue. This is just the clear chunky with the holographic. And this, I use the leftovers and clear in the middle with some of my favorite Marabou. But y'all, that's all I have for this one. Yes, it's great. And it's like I told y'all, it's back to school. So go snag all those deals. Get your clear glue, your white glue, all the stuff that you can from your school supplies. Stock up what's on sale and take advantage of the tax-free days too. But y'all, that's all I have for this one. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and happy arting. Until next time, y'all. Ta-ta for now.